refused to give the Trump team copies of these returns. We can't even be sure of their legitimacy. Now, I suspect that they are most likely real, but I also suspect they do not include the president's personal returns, which most likely would show the president has paid millions of dollars in taxes, as he continues to insist. Well, to discuss this further, constitutional lawyer and tax lawyer at Barnes Law, Robert Barnes joins us. Robert, welcome to the program.
Glad to be here.
So, Robert, we got a lot going on this week. We got the debate tomorrow. We've got the Supreme Court nominee, and then this story comes out. I do believe it's all coordinated. You're a tax attorney. Did you see anything in there that says any of this could have been illegal? I didn't.
It's mostly positive news in terms of the context, because all these allegations that Trump had illegal source income from Russia or other places, completely disproven by the story. Allegations that he was, doing slush funds through Cohen or other people, totally disproved by the story. And in fact, what you found was a pretty conventional return for for a major real estate developer. Our Congress wrote tax laws primarily to incentivize certain behavior and secondarily to raise revenue. They wanted people to build in America. Trump builds a lot in America, and for it, he gets certain tax benefits. But those tax benefits are essential to even make those real estate developments profitable in America, especially in places like New York and Chicago and California, where there's so many regulatory restrictions that make it hard to be a profitable real estate developer.
All right. So, and guess what? When you start using some of those benefits of tax law, it trickles down to everybody involved in the deal, all the way down to the construction worker on the site.
Exactly. It's an incentive for Americans to build here in America. And so the people that it benefits is it benefits everybody. It benefits the local government that gets the property tax base that Trump almost personally substantially increased in the state of New York, because he was willing to invest in New York when nobody was willing to invest in New York in the 1970s. It helps the entire local city, county, and state population. Secondly, it also, of course, helps all the construction workers. Third, it helps all the people who invest there and develop services around there. Trump builds high-end properties, so he ends up bringing high-end service jobs and high-end construction jobs to it. So he's not building, low-end properties. He's not building slumlord properties. He's building high-end properties that attract high-paying jobs. And that's the reason why the system is developed the way it is, because its primary beneficiaries are not real estate developers. Its primary beneficiaries are the construction workers and the high-end workers who get good-paying jobs from that investment.
All right. So, Robert, I believe this is all part of a coordinated attack on the president. I said we're going to see blockbuster after blockbuster. It all turn out to be nothing burgers, as Hillary Clinton likes to say. I think this falls into that. Add in the ignorance of reporters who have no knowledge of how businesses work, and then you get this disastrous story, which, as you said, actually proved good news for the president.
No doubt about it. I mean, for the ordinary voter, they all knew that Trump likely didn't pay a lot in taxes. They knew that frankly, as I told people, I would have second guesses about Trump's business IQ if he was paying a lot in taxes, because our tax laws were designed to give him tax incentives to go into certain areas of business development that he has done. So he's simply done what Congress asked him to do that benefits the ordinary person the most. And the other big takeaway from the tax returns is, unlike almost every politician in the last 20 years, Trump has become poorer by getting elected to the presidency. Trump has less money today than when he took the White House. That's a good thing, not a bad thing.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So I want you to put your constitutional lawyer hat on. Now we have this issue of the Supreme Court nomination. Clearly, the president's within his grounds to appoint this nominee. The Senate is within their rights to confirm the nominee. But you've got the likes of Nancy Pelosi now offering up impeachment once again. What do you think of this?
An extraordinary abuse of the constitutional power of impeachment to use the president's lawful exercise of his elected executive power duties as the predicate or the premise to try to remove him from office on the eve of the election. It makes a joke and a mockery of the entire process. It's an embarrassment that the Democratic Party is even discussing it, much as it's an embarrassment they're discussing things like packing the court. The remedy to any political dispute you have is at the ballot box, and that's our constitutional remedy. It's not to change the Constitution, abuse constitutional power, or try to pretend the Constitution says something other than what it does.
All right, let me play you a soundbite from Nancy Pelosi to let the viewers out there know exactly what you're talking about. Roll it.
Really raises the question. He has almost a conflict of interest in how he's appointed judges who are all waiting for his cases to rise to the level of District Appeals Supreme Court of the United States.
Again, what she's insinuating is that somehow the president has done something criminal in nature with his taxes she's talking about there. This is what we get from the Democrats, Robert.
It's extraordinary. The attempt to criminalize political disagreement by the Democratic Party while they themselves are politically covering up their own criminal conduct and Spygate is what makes such a mockery of Pelosi's statements. The only criminal behavior in the last 4 years has been against the president, not by the president.
Isn't that true? And so many conservatives out there. I mean, who can forget weaponizing the IRS against conservative groups and so many other things that the Democrats have done under Barack Obama? It's been a nightmare. Robert Barnes, I appreciate your insight in all this. It's great to have you on the program. We got to get you back soon.
Absolutely. Glad to be here.
All right. Thank you.